Billions of dollars simply evaporated. A financial nightmare unfolded. IBM's financial disasters are a stark reminder that even the biggest companies can stumble spectacularly. In the early 1990s, the company faced an existential crisis. Its core mainframe business, which had dominated the computing world for decades, began to shrink rapidly. The market was shifting fast, mainframes were expensive and rigid, personal computers were gaining ground. IBM had actually created the personal computer industry in 1981, but it failed to fully grasp the shift it had started. Its internal structure was slow, decision-making was cumbersome. This led to massive losses. 1 year alone, 1993, brought a staggering loss of nearly $8 billion. This was a record for any American company at that time. It was a shocking figure. Thousands of employees lost their jobs, tens of thousands. The company was bleeding cash. Its stock price plummeted. This period was incredibly difficult for Big Blue. Many people thought IBM would not survive. The company was too big, they said. Too slow to change. They had invested heavily in OS/2, an operating system meant to compete with Microsoft Windows. That battle was lost. Windows won. IBM's investment in OS/2 was massive. It was a multi-billion-dollar bet that just did not pay off. People had put their careers into OS/2. It felt like a betrayal. The strategic missteps continued. IBM was slow to embrace open systems. It clung to proprietary technology for too long. This allowed smaller, more agile companies to innovate faster. They grabbed market share. IBM's decline was painful to watch for many who admired its history. The company had built a legacy of innovation. Now it seemed to be crumbling. It needed a radical overhaul. Louis Gerstner was brought in as chief executive officer in 1993. He was an outsider. He did not come from a tech background. His mission was to save IBM. He made tough choices. He cut costs ruthlessly. He streamlined operations. He shifted the focus from hardware to services. This was a major strategic pivot. It took years to turn the ship around, but the damage from those early 90s failures was immense. It cost the company billions. It cost it its dominant market position. Even after the initial recovery, later challenges emerged. IBM sold its personal computer division to Lenovo in 2000. This was a symbolic move. It showed the company moving away from a market it once led. The deal was worth $1.75 billion. It marked the end of an era for IBM in personal computing. More recently, IBM made huge investments in artificial intelligence, particularly with Watson. The vision was grand. Watson would revolutionize healthcare. It would change how doctors diagnose diseases. It would personalize treatments. IBM poured billions of dollars into Watson Health. Reports suggest it was over $15 billion. This was a huge commitment, but the results were disappointing. Watson Health struggled to deliver on its promises. Its AI was not as effective as hoped in real-world clinical settings. Doctors found it difficult to use. The data integration was complex. Many projects failed to launch or generate significant revenue. IBM eventually divested parts of Watson Health. It sold off many of those assets. This was another multi-billion-dollar venture that did not yield the expected returns. It was a painful lesson about the challenges of AI implementation in complex fields. The company also struggled to keep pace in the rapidly evolving cloud computing market. It was a pioneer in many areas, but it was slow to adopt public cloud strategies. Amazon Web Services and Microsoft Azure surged ahead. IBM's focus on hybrid cloud and private cloud solutions meant it missed out on a significant portion of the booming public cloud revenue. This represented lost opportunities worth tens of billions of dollars in market capitalization. The acquisition of Red Hat for $34 billion in 2019 was a bold move to catch up. It was meant to bolster IBM's hybrid cloud strategy. Only time will tell if this massive investment will pay off fully. But the fact remains that IBM was playing catch-up. This was a position unfamiliar to a company that had often been a leader. The company also faced challenges with its semiconductor business. It eventually divested its chip manufacturing operations to GlobalFoundries in 2014. This transfer involved IBM paying GlobalFoundries $1.5 billion over 3 years. It was essentially paying someone to take its manufacturing division. This highlighted the financial pressures and competitive difficulties in that sector. IBM's revenue has been stagnant or declining for many years. For example, in 2015, the company reported a revenue decline for the 14th straight quarter. That is nearly 4 straight years of revenue drops. It shows the persistent struggle to find new growth engines. The company has tried numerous strategies. It has shifted focus from hardware to software, to services, to cloud, to AI. Each pivot brought new hopes. Each also brought new financial risks. Sometimes those risks turned into massive losses. The pressure from Wall Street has been intense. Investors want consistent growth. IBM has found that hard to deliver. Its market value has fluctuated wildly. It once was the most valuable company in the world. Now, it is far from that position. The sheer scale of these financial challenges is hard to fully grasp. Imagine losing $8 billion in 1 year. Imagine investing $15 billion in a project only to divest parts of it years later. These are not small numbers. They represent a massive drain on resources. They represent failed strategies. They represent missed chances. The 1990s were a particular low point. The company was losing money at an alarming rate. Its market capitalization shrank dramatically. Its competitors like Microsoft and Intel were soaring. IBM was trying to innovate, but its size worked against it. It had so many divisions, so many product lines. Coordinating them was a monumental task. The company's culture was also a factor. It was very traditional, very hierarchical. This made it difficult to respond quickly to market changes. The world of computing was becoming faster, more agile. IBM had to learn to adapt or die. Gerstner's turnaround saved the company from collapse. But it did not erase the memory of those staggering losses. The sale of its printing division, another multi-billion-dollar business unit, was another step in shedding non-core assets. The aim was to become more focused, more profitable, but each sale often meant less revenue overall. It was a balancing act. The persistent underperformance in some sectors meant tough decisions had to be made year after year. The journey of IBM through these financial difficulties shows how even an industry giant can face intense pressure. It highlights the constant need for reinvention. It underlines the ruthless nature of the tech market. Even with its rich history and immense talent, IBM had to fight for its very survival at certain points. Its financial journey is a cautionary tale of both immense success and significant setbacks. The struggle to stay relevant in a fast-changing technological landscape continues to be a defining challenge for the company. Despite the failures, IBM has shown resilience. It has adapted and survived, but the cost of those adaptations has been counted in billions of dollars and lost market share. The financial scars remain. The lessons learned from these disasters are truly profound for any large corporation grappling with change.